Lesson learned? I don't think so. Again, we try it. Again, it almost works. Coulthard stays alongside. Welcome back to our 1999 Heinz-Harald Frentzen Championship mission in Automobilista 2, where today we start the second half of the season here at Spielberg in Austria. This race in real life was where Eddie Irvine's championship challenge gained momentum as he took his second win of the season after Coulthard spun his teammate Häkkinen around on the opening lap. The McLarens still finished on the podium while Frentzen again took best of the rest in fourth. Now, seeing as we're 19 points behind championship leader Coulthard right now, fourth can't be our goal, as I am going to aim for the race win again here today, hoping to finally achieve that and do what Irvine did here in real life, taking a second win of the season and becoming a serious challenger for the rest of the year. This is also helped by our best starting position this year with fourth on the grid. The aim is to run in the podium places after lap 1 and then take the fight to the McLarens from there. The rest of the starting grid is on your screen right now as we prepare to start the Austrian Grand Prix in 1999. Well, here we are on the grid again. Need to set the camera up, need to set the HUD up, accidentally turn on the pit limiter, but it doesn't matter this time as we get a very good launch off the line. We're already alongside David Coulthard and now going into turn 1. Coulthard tries to go around the outside. Irvine almost loses it. Coulthard off the road and we're up to second. Oh, that was very close to contact there, but we made it through. We survived turn 1, or rather the exit of turn 1, which was much more difficult than turn 1 itself. Oh, it gets a bit hairy into turn 3 as well, as Mika Salo is now the lead Ferrari. Had a little look there, but we fend him off. And already we achieved our first goal of this race, which is running in the podium positions at the end of lap 1. Well, halfway through lap 1, we're already in second and chasing Mika Häkkinen down. And from here, I hope to be able to fight for the race win. At the moment, we are getting a bit of a gap to Mika Salo, who is challenged by Rubens Barrichello, who also had an amazing start. Irvine and Coulthard completely bottled that one, Lando Norris style. And we are having a little moment into the second to last corner, running wide there a bit. But that was an opening lap that we can be very, very happy with. And yeah, now it is all about getting close and getting to the back of the lead McLaren of Mika Häkkinen now. Well, let's first look at a replay of that start. Here we are. It's a good launch already as we are entering turn 1 side by side with David Coulthard. He tries to run it round the outside and gets caught on the sausage curb. Irvine loses it on the power at the exit of turn 1, drops down multiple positions. Mika Salo also says thank you very much, is up to third. And then Rubens Barrichello into turn 3 also passes the McLaren of championship leader David Coulthard. Well, this is us into lap 6. And, well, we were not really able to gain on Mika Häkkinen. We are keeping the distance, but behind us there is now David Coulthard, who moved up to P3 again. Well, and what a sound this is. The V10s screaming in the Styrian Alps as we end another lap. And the gap to Mika Häkkinen is staying pretty steady around the 3.5 seconds mark. But David is still there. And there is something that happens now. As Coulthard is very late on the brakes, he scares me a bit, as I thought he was going to go for an ambitious dive bomb. I opened the steering wheel for a little bit, and he immediately uses this opportunity, that little error of judgment by me, to get past. And we are put under pressure by Mika Salo. Now, again, so this is very crucial. Now, it could also open up another opportunity, as now we will be able to run in the slipstream, which is quite powerful around this track, and maybe Coulthard can bridge that gap to Mika Häkkinen, to his teammate, because I wasn't able. My efforts kind of stalled from the start already. But Coulthard may actually have a chance. He was flying after that little error in lap 1. Well, not the best run from us into turn 1. But here is already the effect of the slipstream. Look at this as we go up the hill towards turn 3. And actually, this is more than a little slipstream. There is an opportunity down the inside we go. And that is a clean and classic Austrian Grand Prix pass here at Spielberg as we move back into P2. And again, we jump ahead in time a bit. Gap to Mika Häkkinen still pretty much the same. You can see him just going into turn 3 there. But, well, Coulthard again repays the favor and retakes P2 pretty much the same way as we overtook him 2 laps earlier. So again, this is a battle that we will have to pick wisely, actually, because if we fight too much amongst each other, the 3 of us, Mika will just be very happy to run away with the race win here. So, yeah, would actually make sense for the 3 of us to work together. Well, try that, telling an AI. And try to teach me to not go for a move into the 2 last corners. Well, actually, I learned my lesson from the GT Championship 1997 race that we did here a couple of weeks ago, where I tried this multiple times, and it never really worked. Backed out of that one, and again, it is a silver arrow, kind of, that we are fighting around this track. I'm having a bit of a deja vu, but in my opinion, the cars just sound better this time. So, into turn 2, 3, sorry, we try another move. This time we were not far enough alongside, and Mika Salo actually tried to seize his opportunity. Well, he didn't. Around the outside, very difficult to make a pass there if you're not already alongside. But now, this is also something that I was able to realize so far. This is where we are much quicker than the AI here, this technical part. And this was also the same with the GT1 race that we did here. And yeah, it holds true also to these Formula V10 cars. So, again, we are getting a terrific run towards the final 2 corners, and well, lesson learned? I don't think so. Again, we try it. Again, it almost works. Coulthard stays alongside, and again he does through the final corner. He retains the position for the moment, but now into turn 1, we get another terrific run. We're alongside. We try the move, and Coulthard does the same thing he did on the opening lap. He runs wide over the sausage curb, loses time, compromises his exit. We say again, thank you very much, and Mika Salo sees his opportunity there as well. He is alongside. He's trying to follow us through. I wasn't really smart there. Should have maybe given him a bit of slipstream to help him to get past Coulthard, because my life was much easier with Salo chasing me compared to Coulthard. Well, but the good news is Salo made it past eventually, and somehow Coulthard dropped down there a bit. But what is really crucial is to look at that replay, because that was an incredible fight. It's a part of the track where you really don't see cars going side by side very often. Well, we did, and actually that is some good, hard, classic racing. Nowadays, Coulthard would have been asked to give the position back, as see here, he leaves the track with all 4 tyres, and so he does on the final lap, and that was the only reason why he stayed ahead. Well, none of that, leaving the track and gaining an advantage. stuff back in the day. So we had to make it on track. When Coulthard again left the track. And that was us back into P2. And this is also then the situation where Salo takes the fight to DC. And yeah, made it past eventually. Well, we are getting close to lap 20 now, which is when our pit stop was scheduled ahead of the race. But good news, I will actually be able to extend my first stint by one more lap, so I will only have to come into the pits at the end of lap 21. Mika Häkkinen, well, he was still visible in the distance. The gap has increased a little bit from all the fighting we did with Coulthard and Salo. But the good news is, there was also a gap to Mika Salo now, so we could just focus on ourselves, get some clean laps in, and then let's hope that maybe we can extend that stint just 1 or 2 laps longer than Mika Häkkinen. That could already be enough to get us right into contention again, because we need something to bridge that gap. It is still there, and I had the potential to go a bit quicker than him on average, but it was like tenths, maybe hundreds that I was able to gain. So yeah, it will be very, very difficult to achieve this one on track. But here is the good news. I stay out for one more lap as Mika Häkkinen comes in at the end of lap 20. And this gives us more than one advantage, actually, because, well, oh, yeah, well done, Robin. I accidentally pressed the pit limiter button instead of the request pit stop button, so that has cost us a couple of tenths, when this could actually be a very, very crucial lap, which I immediately bottle here, as well as I almost run wide at the end of that corner, so lost another couple of tenths here. But this lap we can run with a very, very light car with still okay tires, while Mika Häkkinen has to run with a very heavy car as soon as he comes out of the pit lane. And maybe even in traffic, so this could still save us, even though this lap will not be amazing. It will also not be terrible. Mika has a very, very heavy car right now, and the stop time for us will be a little shorter than it was for Mika as well, because, well, of that one lap fuel that we will need less, maybe even more than that one lap, if you compare it to Mika, because we seem to have been a bit more efficient on that first stint, because I presume everybody has started this race on a full tank of fuel. Well, here we are, and this is going to be interesting. Watch the top left right now. There is Mika Salo. We have gained a couple of seconds on him. He's still in third. We dropped down to second for the moment, but this is only because Salo's pit box is a bit in front of ours, and we are still in first. 10.6 seconds stop time. We leave the pits, and we leave the pits still in P1. So we actually managed to jump Mika Häkkinen, and we will see a gap in a second. Yeah, there we are. 3.3 seconds is the gap, actually. So I presume Häkkinen must have had a poor pit stop, plus he must have been held up in traffic, because, as I said, my outlap wasn't brilliant. Well, just a lap later than here we go. We just need to keep that consistent pace that we had at the second half of that first stint up, because we were going pretty much at the same pace as Mika was. Well, then I have to get used to a heavier car again as I run off the road there too early on the power. That may have worked with a lighter car. It did certainly not work with a car that has over 90 liters of fuel on board. That was a costly mistake, and you will see an updated gap to Häkkinen as we cross the finish line right now, as the gap is now down to 2.4 seconds. And maybe if you watch my mirrors, well, it's really hard to see, to be honest, but there is a small black dot appearing every now and then. I think you were just able to see it in the right-hand mirror. Mika is now visible in our rearview mirrors, and this last portion of this race has to be absolute perfection. Well, it was, at least until the end of lap 30 when you rejoin me, because there is an updated gap again, and that gap is up to over 3 seconds again, but it has taken me a couple of laps to gain these tenths that I lost. And there is another issue coming up now, because lap traffic might also become a factor now in the final few laps of this race. That were Zanardi and I think the Prost of Olivier Panis. Something must have happened to Zanardi in turn 1, and that almost caught Panis out as well. We were luckily able to avoid that, but the way where we meet the traffic and how we navigate the traffic can be crucial in our duel with Mika Häkkinen. Well, gap is up to 3.3 seconds again, and for the last 4 laps of this race, I will just let you watch with the sound of the V10s and an updated gap to Mika Häkkinen at the end of every lap. Just enjoy this duel with Mika. you! Seriously, you! BAR. Oh, damn it. Get in there, come on. Oh. Jesus. We did it! Oh. Make her P2. Yes! Oh. Oh, that's crazy. Well, and after these celebratory donuts, here are the point scorers of today. We win ahead of Mika Häkkinen and Mika Salo. The two flying Finns complete the podium. Coulthard only 4th, Barrichello 5th, and Fisichella scores the first points of the season. Apologies for me getting that mad with Ricardo Zonta, but that was like really, really annoying. And it cost us over a second actually on that final lap, and we made contact, so that got me really, really annoyed with him. But it all turned out fine in the end, luckily. And here are the updated Driver Championship standings. We move up to P3. Irvine, by the way, dropped down to 4th, and he did not finish the race. He pitted a couple of laps from the end and retired in the pits, as David Coulthard is still in the lead, but only 12 points ahead of us now. So a good result in Hockenheim may just put us back into proper contention. Häkkinen just 2 points behind his teammate now. And for the sake of completeness, here is the second part of the Drivers' Championship standings, as Giancarlo Fisichella is now listed with 1 point in 11th. And then there's also the Constructors' Championship. McLaren absolutely clear in the lead. That win brought us actually much closer to Ferrari, as we are now only 11 points behind them. So maybe this could get interesting. And that has been it for the Austrian Grand Prix 1999. The next race will be mine and Heinz-Harald Frentzen's home race as we go racing in Hockenheim for the German Grand Prix. Subscribe to not miss that, leave a like if you did enjoy this video, and I hope to see you all the next time. Until then, goodbye.